I am asking you to dismiss me from the armed forces of the Russian Federation due to a disappointment in the armed forces of the Russian Federation. This is a report from a 27-year-old Russian army officer Ruslan Livanov. He managed to survive the Russian war in Chechnya and fight in Syria before the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. According to the mother of a combatant, Livanov and his subordinates were surrounded by Ukrainian defenders twice in the months of the war. He wanted to leave the army because of the unprofessional actions of the Russian commanders.
He had an order to take the combat point at any cost, to take it by quantity, without any military tactics, without improvised means. The Sakhalin command, Belavsky, Malinin and Budyshkin, called the soldiers an expendable material. They sit in their bunker and command from there. Olga Livanova, mother of Ruslan Livanov, in an interview with Astra.
Ruslan had sent a photo of his report to his mother, and after that he disappeared. 5 more Russian officers had a similar fate: Alexander Svechikhin, Dmitry Sherbinkin, Dmitry Volkov and Sergei Ivanov. All of them, having been at the war against Ukraine, wanted to leave the Russian army. Heavy fighting, numerous losses of personnel, lack of supplies and the inhuman attitude of the commanders pushed the men to leave.
There was a tough fight. 7 soldiers out of 30 survived, and after that he was immediately sent back. He said that he had no fellows to fight with by his side. They had no ammunition, the equipment was out of order, but the commanders sent him to go there anyway. They sent him to certain death. Mother of Dmitry Volkov, in an interview with Astra.
Relatives did not know where their loved ones were for some time. It turned out that the conscientious objectors were being held in Bryanka, the temporarily occupied territory of the Luhansk region, in the so-called Center for Restoring the Combat Stability of Military Personnel, or as the locals call it, a psychological brainwashing center.
They were morally humiliated, insulted, threatened that they would be beaten. Dmitry was told that they would call his father, who is also a military man, and they asked, "How will you look into his eyes?" after refusing to go to war. Mother of Dmitry Volkov, in an interview with Astra.
Intimidation, a ban on communication with relatives, psychological pressure. They do not stand on ceremony with conscious objectors in the Bryanka Center. The Wagner PMC mercenaries are in charge there.
Wagner PMC operates under the auspices of the 57th Brigade. All conscientious objectors, servicemen who run away from illegal orders, are brought to Bryanka. Their political officer, Garyushkin, sends them to the units after brainwashing them physical and psychological. At that time, there were 10 units. They are beaten and frightened with violence there. Olga Livanova, mother of Ruslan Livanov, in an interview with Astra.
Judging by the testimonies of survivors, such methods of psychological recovery have been honed for more than a month. They break soldiers both physically and mentally there, using torture methods of the NKVD and the KGB. I haven't seen a single guy come back from there. After that, they ended up on the front line in the front rows, where they survived no more than a week. And if they still refused to fight at the war, they were taken to the forest or to the field. You can guess what happened to them there. Testimony of one of the Russian officers in an interview with Astra. At the same time, the military who were killed or tortured to death are recognized by Russian generals either missing or they sent replies to their parents, claiming that their son is fighting successfully. This happened to these 5 officers. Their parents may never know what the true fate of their children is. Reported by Pavel Stelmach, Ksenia Borvenenko, UATV News.